Chapter 632. Nowadays, the cyber police were keeping up with the trends of the times, and they attached great importance to the operation of new media. They immediately posted on Weibo to praise Spicy Tutu. Nanjing Cyber Police Official. A little red flower for Spicy Tutu. Don't forget to help solve the case while chasing after your idol. Tonight, we'll have spicy rabbit head and dog head for supper. Also, let me remind you that the internet is not an illegal place. Everyone is welcome to report criminal activities at any time and make Weibo a clean and harmonious surfing environment. The official Weibo account also reposted this Weibo post to express their attitude. The netizens burst into laughter on the spot. The main characters were holding a banner while the fans were holding little red flowers. The official Weibo account was full of praise. What kind of magical existences were Xiangyi and Spicy Tutu? They were simply a breath of fresh air in the entertainment industry. At the same time, in the manor, the takeout had arrived. After eating the hot pot made by Xiangyi for lunch, the boys lost their appetite in the face of the table full of takeout. It couldn't be helped. Without comparison, there would be no harm. They used to order takeout from this restaurant often. It was expensive, the ingredients were fresh, and the taste was good. However, with Zhuyu in front of them, the takeout could be said to be useless. After Shi Sui finished cooking the porridge, she brought the pot over. The porridge was a failure. Perhaps it was more appropriate to call it rice now. Some netizens speculated that Shi Sui's heart might not be as calm as it seemed on the surface. The group of men didn't care about the details. They each had a big bowl of porridge, regardless of meat or vegetables. The takeout meat was mixed with the pickled vegetables that Xiangyi had previously pickled and mixed with the rice before they started eating. This meal was completely different from the exquisite and sumptuous hot pot they had at noon. The netizens teased in the comments section. It's obvious that their mother isn't home. Ha ha ha, sistery isn't around, the boys really don't wash their hands. The way the boys eat is really something. Eating hundreds of takeout meals per person makes them feel like they're eating pig swill. However, the audience felt awkward no matter how they looked at it. Without sistery around, little La Duo really seemed different. She was usually quiet and didn't seem to have a presence, but the strange thing was that no one would ignore her. Now that she wasn't around, the audience was really not used to it. Moreover, without sistery around, Shuringdi felt very quiet and a little dejected. The younger brothers didn't dare to interact with him. Inexplicably, the number of people who spoke became fewer and fewer. In the end, everyone fell into silence. For the first time in history, there was an awkward silence in Two Under One Roof. Li Jianyu, who was in the director's office, was having a headache. Even he felt awkward, let alone the audience watching the live broadcast. The number of online viewers also began to decrease. Now, in addition to eating well for 3 meals, a few other live broadcast variety shows had popped up. Seeing this, he quickly bought a water army to trample on them. The peak of prosperity is bound to decline, this variety show is about to come to an end. I'm dying of laughter. What kind of live broadcast is this? It's clearly a still image. To be honest, Shi Sui's gentle and reserved personality is not suitable for variety shows. She doesn't have a sense of variety and is too awkward. The bullet screen was filled with arguments again. The fans of Two Under One Roof were furious. Clearly, Xiao Pa had just set a record and was about to soar into the sky, riding the wind and breaking the waves. But in the end, he had just become a god, but he had already fallen from the altar. Even if you want to abuse your fans, you shouldn't do this. With nowhere to vent their anger, the only way to vent it was to criticize Xiangyi. Is Xiangyi going to ruin little La Duo? I've never been so disappointed in Xiangyi. I feel like she's not responsible at all. XY is simply a double burden. She's causing trouble for old Mr. Fong and Shi Sui. Doesn't she feel ashamed at all? Chapter 633. When Li Jianyu saw those comments, he wished he could roll up his sleeves and argue with the haters. What's wrong with these people's brains? They don't understand the situation at all, and yet, they're criticizing Sister E. Sister E is so nice, What do they know? What right do they have to criticize Sister E? Li Jianyu was infuriated. Since the start of the variety show, the staff had been on very good terms with Xiangyi. It was no exaggeration to say that Xiangyi was now the favorite of the entire crew. Many staff members were busy during the day and had to help Xiangyi fight the haters online at night. The more they got to know her, the more their hearts ached for her. Sister E is really a girl who deserves to be treated well by others. Ruan Qing folded her arms and remained silent, but there was an icy cold aura around her. What's the point of criticizing her here? Her tone was much calmer than Li Jianyu's, making him feel a little ashamed. However, he heard her say in an elegant and intellectual voice, "Leave the public relations to me. I'll contact Tomato Entertainment and Mr. C now. As for you, register an account and contact them." Li Jianyu was dumbfounded. Huh? What's the matter? Don't you know how to be a keyboard warrior? Ming Yan asked with disdain in her eyes. Li Jianyu said with a dumbfounded expression, "Yes." "Go now then." "Okay." Li Jianyu took out his cell phone and began to register an account. The staff at the side were dumbfounded. Is she still the heartless demoness who only knows how to exploit others? Isn't she being too protective of Sister E? After Ruan Qing glared daggers at them, they shuddered. "Let's register immediately too." The sky gradually turned dark gray, and the lights flickered like flickering shadows. Xiangyi met up with Xiang Yin at the airport. Old Mr. Fang and the others were there too. When they saw Xiangyi, they all frowned. Xiang Yin was so infuriated that he slammed his cane against the ground. "What are you doing here? Is this a place where a child like you should come to? Go home now." Old Mr. Fang and the others had the same attitude. Because he really couldn't bear it. Because the girl left in a hurry, she didn't even take a coat and only wore a thin sweater. Her figure looked slender and thin, but her back was stretched into a straight line. She said calmly, "Grandpa, I'm not a child anymore. Firstly, I think my medical skills can come in handy. Secondly, I'm young, I can run and stay up late. Thirdly, you're my grandfather, I can't selfishly ask you to stay, but I can accompany you, to fight side by side." Xiang Yin's lips quivered, and his chest heaved up and down violently. Even his voice was trembling. There were thousands and thousands of words that he wanted to say, but when he met the young girl's clear and resolute eyes, he couldn't say anything else. "Forget it." Xiang Yin waved his hand wearily and said, "Come with me, but you have to promise me one thing. You must stay by my side." Xiangyi nodded obediently. Elder Fong sighed. "Good girl, good girl." Elder Yun and Elder Jing looked at each other and saw the reluctance in each other's eyes. Very soon, more and more people gathered. The atmosphere was solemn and silent. A special passage was opened at the airport, and everyone registered as quickly as possible. When a tourist passed by and saw this scene, he took a photo of it and posted it on his WeChat Moments. "Is this a middle-aged and elderly tour group? Ha ha ha, but there's a pretty girl in the group. She's fair and skinny, and she has a great aura." As soon as he posted it, he received a text message notification on his cell phone. Emergency notice. Unless absolutely necessary, do not go to the West Continent for the time being. Chapter 634. What the hell? It must be a rumor, the passenger lamented, not taking the news to heart. Due to work, he was going to the West Continent for a business trip later. However, an announcement suddenly sounded in the airport. "Dear passengers heading to the West Continent, Flight F286 cannot take off on time due to weather conditions. We apologize. Dear passengers heading to the West Continent, Flight F355. A series of announcements sounded one after another. On the contrary, all the flights to the West Continent were cancelled. Some people were immediately displeased. Didn't the weather forecast say that it would be sunny? Why are they cancelled? Isn't that a waste of time? Hey, aren't those people at the boarding gate going to the West Continent too? Why can they fly but we can't? You must give us an explanation. The surroundings were noisy and the passenger was extremely frustrated. He took out his mobile phone and was about to report the situation to his superior, only to find that there were a few more comments on his WeChat moments. He habitually clicked on them. Hit the worker spirit, hit the workers, you're above everyone else. Dog. Huh? Are you going to the West Continent? I just saw the news saying that something seems to have happened there. Zoom in, the girl in the photo is my sister E. Shang Tu is so good at fighting. Can I move it to Super News? Please. He replied one by one and suddenly remembered the news just now. He clicked on it again. When he finished reading the full text, his eyelids twitched. In the manner. After dinner, the brothers said that it was time for the holidays, but they were still thinking about training, so they went back. Xiong Yu followed suit. Shi Sui walked them to the gate. In the night, the man stood quietly in place for a while. The huge manor was extremely quiet at this moment, leaving only a person, a cat, and a dog. Xiao Naofu had no idea what was going on at all. It thought that Xiangyi was just going out and that it could still eat her fresh shrimp and pumpkin rice the next morning. It inadvertently raised its cat face, only to discover that the dog man was strange. His gaze was gloomy, and his peach blossom-shaped eyes, which were usually affectionate when he smiled, were now sharp. He gave off a particularly dangerous vibe. Xiao Naofu took a few steps back, for fear that the dog man would take it to be neutered in a bad mood. It had yet to enjoy its life as a tiger, flirt with a tiger sister, and give birth to a tiger baby. Little Shiji nudged it with its warm breath, seemingly coaxing it. Shi Sui lowered his eyes, glanced at the two of them, and walked back. The bullet screen was filled with emotions. Time, empty nest, youth, Sui. I'm not used to seeing Shiringdi like this. I still prefer his warm smile when Sister E is around. As an artist, Xiangyi doesn't do her job well and goes around doing useless things every day. Isn't everyone being too tolerant of her? She's simply disqualified as an artist. At this moment, Si Chuanbai and Ruan Qing's joint public relations statement was published. He wrote a few versions of the script, and in the end, he used the simplest one. 2 under 1 roof. You look beautiful when you're going against the flow. Xiangyi V. The accompanying picture was of a young girl pulling her suitcase and running towards the sunset. Tomato Entertainment's official Weibo reposted the post with the caption, "Doctors are benevolent." Rose the fan club, Si Chuan Bai, and Anan's personal Weibo had all reposted it. At first, the netizens were a little confused, until they saw the top trending topic on Weibo, #unknown disease outbreak in Shizhou #. They clicked on the topic, only to see that the most popular Weibo post was a picture of a gathering of big shots. Chapter 635. The original post was posted under Spicy Tutu's Twitter account. Yaya. I saw a photo of Sister E on my WeChat moments. She's so cute in real life. Xiangyi's grandfather is so handsome too. Not to brag, but the Xiang family is so good-looking. At first, the comments below were all praises from Spicy Bunny, until someone pointed out, why are there so many big shots in the medical field? Old Fong, Old Yun, and Old Jing are all big shots in traditional Chinese medicine. There are also plenty of big shots in Western medicine. How many of them are on the same level as textbooks? This Weibo post reminded many people. That's true. I was fortunate enough to be on Old Ma's expert account before. How is this a middle-aged and elderly tour group? It's an ace tour group in the medical field. Oh my God, have you guys seen the news? Is it related to the incident in Shizhou? When the netizens found out that the flight was headed to Shizhou, there was an instant uproar. At the same time, the official media began to report on the situation in Shizhou. An unknown disease has appeared in Shizhou, and it's extremely contagious. Currently, a team of experts has rushed to the scene for a consultation. There was an uproar on the internet. In particular, some malicious marketing accounts began to spread rumors, causing everyone to be in a state of panic. Spicy Tutu's fans linked the clues together, but they were all dumbfounded. Sister E. actually went to such a dangerous place? As fans, their first reaction was to worry about Xiangyi's safety. Boo-hoo, Yi-mei, are you silly? She clearly didn't have to go. Ah, Xiangyi. Xiangyi must take good care of herself. I'm crying. However, the haters were still going on about it. She can just go with Western medicine doctors. Why would she go with traditional Chinese medicine doctors? What the hell? Can traditional Chinese medicine doctors treat infectious diseases? They can just use some ointment to fool people. Don't embarrass yourself at such a critical moment. The people who are going are all professionals and seniors in the industry. Their qualifications and medical skills are guaranteed. Xiangyi is just a 20-year-old kid. What can she do? Nowadays, there were many netizens, and their qualities were mixed. All kinds of opinions were emerging. A person's tolerance in life was very high, but the strange thing was that on the internet, it was very easy to ignite and explode. Under this Weibo post, the netizens had their own opinions and were arguing fiercely. The ones who felt the most aggrieved were the spicy tutu girls. They were being chased and scolded for defending Xiangyi. They couldn't understand why someone would be so hostile towards Xiangyi even though they were separated by the internet. Appearance, personality, age, ability. Everything could become a black mark. Many people were disheartened. At this moment, suddenly, someone forwarded this Weibo post. And there was more than one person. Yen Nai. Believe in the medical angel. Believe in sister. Xiangyi V. Jiang Chen V. Greetings to every defying traveler. Sister and everyone else must return safely. Yin Zhengxue V. God bless Shizhou. Little Xiangyi, Auntie will wait for you. Yen Kai Kai V. Everyone has worked hard. Xiangyi V. Sister E. We'll wait for you to come back and resell the goods together. Fu Jian V. Sister E. You're doing well. Jiang Jojo V. Aw, baby, do you know how much you've eaten? If you dare to starve and lose weight, I won't acknowledge you as my sister. Among the reviewers, there was one person who was the crudest and wildest. Ronghuai V. The maggots in the comments are scolding you. If you have what it takes, come and fight me. Damn it. Chapter 636. The young man in front of the screen was typing so hard that his phone seemed to be smashed. Whenever he saw someone scolding Xiangyi, he would scold them back. The young man's eyebrows were high, making his eyes seem particularly deep, but at this moment, his eyes were bloodshot. She was such a nice, warm, and bright girl. He would never allow those filthy people to tarnish her name. They were not worthy. Ronghuai's repost was too powerful. The spicy tutu fans seemed to have been injected with chicken blood. Protect my brother Ronghuai. It's not good for your brother to swear, it's soft, but it feels so good. Foreign language professional report. Chinese, English, German, Italian, and French curses have been privately shared. Brother, let's go. I'm an unknown rapper, but I'm willing to lend you a hand. Brother, at me if you can't scold me. I'll give you a few lines. With everyone's support, the haters' confusing comments were gradually drowned out. The netizens sighed with emotion. Xiangyi's popularity was too good. Almost everyone who had worked with her before stood up for her. Her charisma was unparalleled. However, there were also some people who focused on something else. Why isn't Xiangyi's family speaking up for her? Aren't all of you guys usually known to dote on your sister? Where are all of you now? Also, Shi Sui didn't repost the post. Are they breaking up as soon as the official announcement is made? The netizens were dumbfounded. That seemed to be the case. That was strange. Could it be that her brothers were all busy? Or did they have some conflict with Xiangyi? As for Shi Sui, as her boyfriend, how could he not post on Weibo to support his girlfriend? He was too unqualified. All of a sudden, apart from discussing the situation in Xi province, the most popular topic was criticizing Xiangyi's brother and Shi Sui. At 4:30 a.m., the lights in the conference room were as bright as day. Old Master Fong was already old, and he was really weak. He either closed his eyes and rested for a while or was barely holding on because he was in poor condition. The most awake person present was Xiangyi. She had been listening in at the beginning, but now, she seemed to have the courage to lead the entire situation. However, her aura and expression were not fierce. On the contrary, she was gentle and calm. He was also very courteous to the seniors. In discussing the problems of the medical profession, he had even displayed his amazing ability. At first, some of the experts who had looked down on her nodded their heads one after another. It was obvious that they admired her. Regarding the herbs I mentioned just now, there are a few prescriptions in the ancient book Hui Ran's notes on plants that can be used as evidence. Someone questioned, "I've never heard of this book before." "Little girl, are you sure?" Elder Fong's eyes lit up. "What a coincidence. I have a handwritten copy at home. I'll have someone send it over right away. You don't have to go through so much trouble. I have a copy here." Xiangyi lowered her eyes and operated the tablet for a while before projecting it onto the screen in the room. "I directly searched for the relevant pages. You can use them as a reference." The experts first discussed the problem of medicinal herbs. During the break, they praised Xiangyi while drinking tea. It's still the brains of young people. It's really convenient now that technology is so advanced. It's not like in the past where we could only flip through books one by one." In the corner, Xiangyi leaned against the wall and closed her eyes to fall asleep so that she could adjust her state of mind. What she didn't know was that all the big shots in the room were looking at her with love and tenderness. "Little girl, have you acknowledged a master?" "What? You've acknowledged 3? Then there's not much difference between 3 and 30. Why don't he? Chapter 637. At the end of the night, it was dawn. As the sky began to brighten, the Xiang clan's estate was quiet. In the cat bed, Xiao Naofu opened its eyes, yawned lazily, and snuggled into little Shiji's arms. Woof, woof. Little Shiji licked it a few times before falling asleep again. Xiao Naofu looked out sleepily. Shi Sui was sitting beside the coffee table by the floor-to-ceiling window with a book on her lap. Xiao Naofu tilted its head in puzzlement and thought, "This book, was it on this page last night?" Shi Sui hadn't slept all night and had some stubble on his chin, making him look inexplicably dejected. "Hey, this dog of a man has such an expression?" Xiao Naofu jumped out of the cat's nest and lazily walked over to Shi Sui's feet with its thick, round legs. It grabbed Shi Sui's trousers and skillfully jumped onto his lap, tilting its head curiously. "Meow." Shi Sui didn't respond. Xiao Naofu meowed a few times before Shi Sui slowly came back to his senses. "Ha!" His voice was hoarse and full of fatigue. Xiao Naofu patted his arm and rubbed its belly, indicating that the dog of a man could serve it food now. "Hungry." Shi Sui rubbed the back of the cat's neck perfunctorily and got up to pour some cat food into its bowl. Xiang Feng was the one who bought the cat food, which was said to be a royal brand in the world of cat food. The expensive price corresponded to the unparalleled deliciousness. However, Xiao Naofu's appetite had long been spoiled by Xiangyi and it didn't fancy such dry cat food at all. It acted coquettishly and pointed at the door of Xiangyi's room. If there were outsiders present, their jaws would probably drop in shock. "This cat has probably become a spirit." Shi Sui accepted it very well and said softly, "She's not back yet." Xiao Naofu's eyes widened. "What? That stupid woman didn't come home at night and it's already daybreak?" Atrocious. It tried to contact Xiangyi through the chat channel, only to discover that it seemed to have been blocked. Xiao Naofu realized that something was wrong, and his first reaction was to tell Shi Sui. But, sensing Shi Sui's unusual aura, it hesitated. He was the stupid woman's boyfriend, but that didn't mean he was trustworthy. There must be some secret hidden in Shi Sui. After all, Xiao Naofu had a low IQ and a simple mind. It bounced onto the sofa and turned on the tablet. Fortunately, Xiangyi's WeChat account was still logged in. While Shi Sui was in the yard, It swiped the screen and made a video call to Xiong Yu. Nothing happened. The internet addict had no warning. It tried calling Xiong Li and Sangchen, but no one picked up and the other was hung up. Xiao Naofu scratched its head and locked its eyes on the account of third brother Xiong Qi. After a moment of hesitation, it used its little paw to press the call button. Ding ding ding. Xiong Qi busied himself through the night and finally managed to personally make a piece of haute couture clothing. He was so tired that he collapsed on the sofa and fell asleep. Everyone in the studio was used to seeing his designs, but they were still inevitably shocked. His assistant, Roman, knelt on the ground, as if he was the most devout believer worshipping the gods. "This is God's will, a miracle," he muttered to himself, and suddenly heard Xiong Qi's phone ring. Although his Chinese was not good, he still recognized the word sister on the screen. Worried that it might be an emergency, he pressed the answer button. "Good morning, Miss Xiong." Roman greeted clumsily. What responded to him was a series of hurried meows. Chapter 638. Roman slowly typed a question mark. When Xiao Naofu saw that the person who answered the phone was not Xiong Qi, but a foreigner with green eyes and yellow hair, he became even more anxious. "Meow. Meow meow meow. Tell Xiong Qi to pick up this hoo-hoo's call, meow." Unfortunately, not everyone's understanding could compare to Shi Sui's. Roman didn't understand what Xiao Naofu was saying at all, but humans had different joys and sorrows, but there was no human in this world who didn't like kittens. Nothing. "Oh God, this cute little kitty. Sapphires are not as bright as your eyes, and your claws have been kissed by God." Roman unconsciously used his mother tongue, and a series of praises flowed out. Xiao Naofu couldn't understand what he was saying and anxiously roared like a tiger. "Awu." Roman instantly lost the ability to speak. "Ah. Xiao Naofu. Stupid humans, they're so annoying." His chubby little paw accidentally touched the voice message that Xiangyi had sent earlier, and the girl's sweet voice was playing. "Brother, I sent you something delicious. Take care of your body and don't tire yourself out." Roman didn't understand and stared at Xiao Naofu in the video. Xiao Naofu's head drooped listlessly. He was about to give up on contacting the stupid woman's brother when his phone was suddenly snatched away by a pair of large hands. "Younger sister?" His gorgeous and languid voice was bewitching. Whoosh! Xiao Naofu's ears perked up as it meowed wildly. Xiong Qi frowned. "You fat cat, do you have nothing better to do after eating?" "Xiao Naofu? What did you say? Who's fat aim?" "This hoo-hoo is not fat. This hoo-hoo is not meow." The little fellow was so angry that he wanted to hang up the phone, but when he thought of Xiongyi's unknown situation, it typed with its furry paws, "Frowny face stupid woman is in danger." Xiong Qi thought that someone was playing a prank on him. He didn't even think that Xiao Naofu could type. "Who's so bored?" he muttered softly. "And who's that stupid woman?" Xiao Naofu angrily replied, "Your sister, Xiangyi." Xiong Qi cursed loudly, without a trace of his image as a top international designer. Bullsh *T. How is my sister stupid? My sister is the smartest and cutest girl in the world. They were from the same family, but why was there such a huge difference in their IQs? On Xiao Naofu's immature face, a look of vicissitudes emerged. The tablet was suddenly tapped twice by a pair of bony hands. Xiao Naofu looked up and saw that it was Shi Sui who had forwarded a piece of news to Xiong Qi. What to do, what to do? The D*MN man had discovered her secret. Little did they know that Shi Sui was very calm. "Sister E will be in danger? Tell me, what happened?" "Huh." Xiao Naofu pretended to be innocent and blinked. "Meow. What are you talking about? This hoo-hoo doesn't understand." "Oh. You can trust me." Shi Sui rubbed his eyebrows and said casually, "Otherwise, you would have been cooked into a cat meat hot pot or sent to a research institute to be dissected." Xiao Naofu continued to pretend. Shi Sui stared at it for a few seconds and suddenly smiled. Are you afraid that I'll know your secret? Ah meow, this hoo-hoo and this stupid woman have no secrets. Transmigrating to another world? Shi Sui's few words were earth-shattering, leaving Xiao Naofu dumbfounded. How did he know? Shi Sui picked it up and scrutinized it for a few seconds before speaking in an indifferent tone. In the past year, I've met more than one fast transmigrator. Chapter 639. Meow? Meow meow. Xiao Naofu was shocked. How could this be? The world that Xiang Yi was in was obviously a very ordinary and safe plane. In the rating of the fast-reversing world, it belonged to the relatively low kind. Such a world, whether in terms of logic or energy, couldn't accommodate frequent transmigrations. Shi Sui calmly pressed Xiao Naofu in front of the tablet. Type. Xiao Naofu hesitated. Shi Sui, why don't you speak human language? Xiao Naofu, you can't even speak human language? There was a hint of disdain. Xiao Naofu. F*CKU. The kitten had an expression that said, "This hoo-hoo can't stand this grievance," but it reluctantly typed on the screen with its paws. Even though she was mentally prepared, Shi Sui still raised her eyebrows when she saw the kitten's proficient typing. However, this time, there was no barrier to communication between the two. Xiao Naofu, can I trust you, dog man? Shi Sui, huh? Dog man? Xiao Naofu! Exclamation point. Oh no, I accidentally typed out my inner thoughts. The kitten guiltily deleted the last 3 words and went against its conscience to type the words, haughty. The man's low and sultry laughter came from above. You can choose not to believe that I won't cook you into a cat meat hot pot, but you can believe that I will never hurt Sister E. The man's tone was indifferent, but there was no room for negotiation. I swear on my life. Sweet words. However, after spending so much time with Shi Sui, Xiao Naofu could see his feelings for Xiangyi. After hesitating for a few seconds, Xiao Naofu began to type and slowly describe the situation. It took about half an hour. Shi Sui sorted out all the clues and frowned. So, she has a system in her subconsciousness now? Xiao Naofu nodded. Shi Sui tapped his fingers on the table in an even rhythm. Suddenly, he paused. He searched on his phone and handed the screen to Xiao Naofu. The Qin Wan Yen you mentioned, is it this woman? Xiao Naofu. Meow. Didn't this woman come to the manor before? How could this D*MN man not remember what she looked like? Shi Sui dialed a number and gave a simple instruction. His deep and cold voice made people's hearts palpitate for no reason. I want to see her. At 7:30 a.m., the morning news began. It is reported that all the close contacts have been tracked down. In addition, the team of experts has already come up with a response plan. I hope that the people of the Western continent will work together to overcome the difficulties. Good news. Countless people were encouraged and immediately felt that this was not a big deal. They should continue to watch the show. In a certain rented apartment. When the unshaven man woke up, the first thing he did was to grab his phone sleepily. When he saw the latest situation in Shizhou, he felt a pang of anxiety. If the incident ended just like that, how could he continue to gain popularity? Seeing that the article he wrote yesterday had very few views, the man scratched his feet in annoyance and moved his face to touch his itchy nose a few times. Suddenly, he had an idea. What the netizens wanted to see was the truth. Not necessarily. As long as the entry point was tricky enough and the gimmick was eye-catching enough, the truth of the incident did not matter. The man sat up and first sent himself a private message on his private account, then quickly typed on Weibo. Online celebrity Diapi only V. I received a fan's contribution from the Western continent. She's a medical staff member and heard that Xiangyi has been ostracized by the big shots in the team of experts. Chapter 640. Below the Weibo post, there was a picture of a private message. Mr. Pippi, I'm here to contribute to your blog. Give me a thick password. Didn't the incident in Shizhou blow up recently? I'm a local medical staff, but I won't go into detail. Didn't a group of experts come over? The big shots of Western medicine from all over the country, including respiratory and infectious diseases. Many of the leading figures in Chinese medicine have also come, all of whom are difficult to hire even for powerful businessmen. What surprised me the most was that there was a celebrity in the group of experts. Forgive me for being blunt, but aren't celebrities just entertainers? Sneaking into such a group of experts is really an insult to the efforts of the experts, and it's also a betrayal of the trust that the public has in the experts. However, what I'm happy to see is that the group of experts are very disdainful of her. After all, she's young and incompetent. She's also very funny and always wants to be in the limelight. She loves to show off in front of the experts. The experts didn't say anything for the sake of her grandfather, but her behavior is really disgusting. Of course, this so-called submission was not self-directed and self-acted by him. He tagged a few trending hashtags and then posted it on Weibo. He then used a few other accounts to repost it. He had been running Weibo for a long time, and each account had at least 100,000 followers. Several accounts jointly reposted it, and because it was tagged with a trending hashtag, the amount of exposure instantly increased. As he had expected, this entry point was really tricky. It was peak hour at this time, and the traffic was astonishing. When the netizens saw this Weibo post, they were slightly relieved, but their anger was ignited again. I vomited, I knew this would happen. Hey? What kind of behavior is this? I think she's more like a B*TCH. The experts are ostracizing her? Is she worthy? I think she's the one harassing the experts. They're working so hard to save lives and heal the injured, but she's great. Does she think she's there to perform on stage? I strongly suggest kicking Xiangyi out of the group of experts. What if she affected the mood of the experts by leaving her inside? Why is she getting involved in a matter of life and death? She's simply disregarding human life. There were even some who directly copied and pasted a sentence and Xiangyi V are human blood buns tasty. Looking at the angry faces of the netizens, Skinner smiled triumphantly in front of the screen. His account had a function that allowed him to monetize his traffic. The number of clicks on his advertisements and the tips from his fans were all his sources of income. In short, the more people who read his Weibo, the more money he could earn. This time, it could be said that he had earned a lot. The spicy Tutu girls held the principle of believing in Xiangyi. They all expressed that they did not believe in rumors and did not spread rumors. They were very calm. What kind of storms have they not seen before? It was just a small scene. Peace was enough. However, the fans of several popular actresses took the opportunity to add insult to injury. They couldn't wait for Xiangyi to disappear. Wow, how does it feel to have your house collapse? I bet 50 cents that within 3 days, Xiangyi will become a paste. Her family doesn't dote on her, her boyfriend doesn't love her, and she's even hated by others. Ayaya, her charming image really collapses just like that. The netizens mocked him mercilessly. At 8 o'clock sharp, the official media suddenly posted on Weibo. Nanqing Daily V. Thank you to the ethnic entrepreneurs and individuals of Nanqing for your monetary and material donations. Love is boundless. Please pass it on. There was a long list of people who were at the top of the list. They were none other than Xiangyi, Xiangyi's uncle, and Shi Sui. Chapter 641. Shi Sui Shiguang Studio donated 50 million yuan. Sangchen Linchin Law Firm donated 50 million yuan. Xiang Li Nanqing Biomedical Research Institute donated 40 million yuan and medical supplies. Xiang Qi Hades Design Studio donated 30 million yuan and women's products. Xiang Yu Logic Esports Team donated 30 million yuan and food supplies. The amazing amount of donations instantly caused an uproar on the internet. Oh my god, Xiangyi's brothers are so amazing. Shi Sui is so caring, sob. I thought he was cold and aloof, but I didn't expect him to be such a gentle person. Am I the only one who noticed Uncle Xiong Feng? He donated 100 million yuan. 100 million yuan. Wow, I'm so impressed. How dare you treat the domineering CEO as if he's invisible? So far, the Xiong family and Shi Sui had not made any comments on social media, but they had taken action to support the Shizhou area. On the other hand, many celebrities and internet celebrities had only spoken out but not done anything substantial. The netizens were suddenly enlightened and sobered up. Their family has donated more than the entire entertainment industry combined. I'm asking, who else? Do those who said that Xiongyi's family and boyfriend didn't do anything feel embarrassed? They've been slapped in the face so quickly, like a tornado. Although celebrities and internet celebrities have no obligation to donate, and we shouldn't criticize or condemn them, we must praise the Xiong family's brothers and Shi Sui. That way, we won't disappoint those who truly want to do charity. Hey, you guys forgot about the domineering CEO uncle again. Xiong Feng, it's a story about 6 people, but I'm the only one who doesn't deserve to have a name. The netizens laughed and joked about Xiong Feng being ignored. Soon, there were all kinds of jokes and emojis. The Spicy Tutu fans also found a strong point to counterattack. What? Our Tutu's image has collapsed and they didn't do anything? Are you kidding me? Please, our Tutu is on the front line of the fight against the epidemic, okay? What? Our Tutu's brother and boyfriend didn't do anything? Are you kidding me? Open your eyes and look at the world. Do you really think that the hundreds of millions of donations and supplies are fake? By the way, your housekeeper didn't donate a single cent. She must be having a hard time. Come on, continue to work hard as a worker in the entertainment industry. Our Tutu is outstanding. She also has a family that dotes on her and a boyfriend that dotes on her. I'm going to piss you off. The opposing fans. F***CK. Even if we can't afford to offend them, can't we just hide? How the F***CK is this black? Only those who had been instigated by the internet celebrity peeler were still insisting that Xiongyi had been ostracized. In their eyes, seeing was believing. They had seen the screenshot of the submission with their own eyes. As for whether the news was true or false, and how much was true or false, they didn't care at all. Some of them had nothing better to do and even mocked him in a sarcastic manner. This is probably the mentality of the more you lack something, the more you want to show it off. A certain female celebrity has embarrassed herself in the group of experts, so she has to make up for it in other ways. Ha 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 ha, have you forgotten about the human blood steamed buns? Do you think the internet has no memory? At this moment, on the news channel of Shizhou TV station, the host and the reporter connected to the scene and live-streamed the situation of the group of experts to the public. It's break time now, we can see that the experts are, the reporter was in a trance. Fighting to take in disciples. Chapter 642. The host was obviously stunned for a second, but he managed to maintain his composure. Smiling politely, he said, "What a surprise. I didn't expect the experts to have such a scene. I believe the audience in front of the screen must be as curious as I am. Who is the disciple that the experts are vying to accept?" The reporter said, "I'm afraid you won't believe it, but it's a young girl in her early 20s. The cameraman at the scene changed the camera angle and shot a panoramic view. The slender and fair young girl was surrounded by a group of experts who were of the same age as her grandparents. They finally had some time to rest, but not only did they not make use of this precious time to rest, they were even more hostile than when they were discussing her condition just now. Xiongyi, traditional Chinese medicine is good, but Western medicine isn't bad either. Come, learn respiratory medicine from me. Don't listen to his nonsense, the infectious diseases department is the best. Forget it, she's a good seedling for traditional Chinese medicine. Why are you Western medicine experts trying to get her? That's not how you poach people." The young girl looked confused and her long eyelashes fluttered. Does she have the halo of wanting to accept her as a disciple as soon as they meet her? The crowd was arguing incessantly, and the reporters and cameraman were in a mess. The host was dumbfounded. No, You experts can get any kind of student or disciple you want, but why are you all trying to accept Xiangyi as your disciple? The reporter came back to his senses and stepped forward to shove the microphone in front of Xiangyi. Miss Xiang, tell us how you feel now. Xiangyi said, I'm quite confused. Miss Xiang, do you have a favorite teacher? The reporter was eager to stir up trouble. Which expert's disciple would you like to be? In an instant, the eyes of the experts were as sharp as knives as they shot daggers at the reporters. Xiangyi answered humbly and politely, everyone here can be my teacher. Be it medical skills or other aspects, I still have a lot to learn from my seniors. The young girl's answer was appropriate and obedient, and the experts liked her very much. Everyone was looking at her kindly as if they were looking at their own child. What if you have to choose one? The reporter continued to stir up trouble. Xiangyi blinked and said, actually, I've already chosen 3. The reporter, Elder Fong, Elder Yun, and Elder Jing smiled faintly. I am her great master. I am not talented, but I am the second master of my beloved disciple. Humph, I am the third master of my obedient disciple. Do you have a problem with that? The reporter was dumbfounded. Before coming here, he had also learned about the lives of these big shots. The president of the Huaxia Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, the heir of the Huichun Hall Medical Hall, and the chief master of the Jisher Hall Medical Hall were all divine doctors of traditional Chinese medicine. But Xiangyi actually bowed 3 times in one go? Unexpectedly, in the next second, the others were unhappy. You 3 old fogies, you're just the early bird that got here first. She has already acknowledged 3 masters. What's wrong with acknowledging a few more? In my opinion, traditional Chinese medicine is the body and Western medicine is the application. The combination of traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine is the best choice. Reporter, ? The host, ? Where? Was this a recruitment event or a large-scale cabbage-picking event? Could it be that the big shots in the medical field in the country were all picked by Xiangyi to be her disciple? At this moment, Elder Fong said leisurely, only children make choices. My dear disciple, you might as well choose all of them. Chapter 643. Xiangyi was speechless. She had an innocent look on her face as she didn't expect things to turn out this way. However, the other experts agreed. I don't mind. Yes, we'll just accept her together. We'll combine Chinese and Western medicine, extract the essence, and discard the dross. We'll use modern scientific methods to verify the scientificity and accuracy of the 2 types of medicine. That's the only way we won't waste a good seedling. Xiangyi said, seniors, young lady, it's too rushed today. I'll give you a gift later. One of the experts yelled, and the others immediately expressed that they must prepare a gift for Xiangyi. The atmosphere at the scene was joyous and harmonious. Everyone was immersed in the joy of receiving their little disciple, which relieved a lot of their stress and fatigue. Xiang Yin was calm and composed, which was rare for him to not throw a tantrum. In fact, he knew in his heart that on one hand, these experts were teasing him, but on the other hand, they really thought highly of Xiangyi. Perhaps, my tutu will have great achievements in medicine. As her grandfather, I just need to pave the way for her. She'll have to walk her own path in the future. The reporter said in a trance. This is the situation at the scene, host. The host said in confusion. Okay. This segment of the report was live-streamed by the TV station and was seen by countless viewers. Some commenters immediately edited the video and posted it on various social media platforms. The netizens clicked on it to take a look. All of them. I was dumbfounded on the spot. How can you become a disciple in such a way? Ha ha ha, some people who ridiculed Xiangyi for being ostracized by the experts are hilarious. She's clearly the favorite of everyone. This scene also became a must-have video in the annual Face-Slapping Moments video collection. Meanwhile, the netizens who heard that Xiangyi loved to be in the limelight and was ostracized were dumbfounded. This. Why is this completely different from what we imagined? The attitude of the person involved was the best way to clarify things. The rumors were dispelled on their own. The public opinion was reversed. The netizens began to question whether the fan submissions of the Internet Celebrity Peeler account were real or fake. This is clearly a baseless rumor. To be honest, anyone who can come into contact with a team of experts would probably have to sign a confidentiality agreement. How could they expose this online? If he really hated Xiangyi, why would he be willing to accept her as his disciple? Regardless of whether it's medicine or any other industry, they won't accept disciples casually, okay? On the other hand, the spicy tutu girls were very peaceful. Unlike the fans of other families, who would spread rumors with their mouths but do everything they could to refute them, Spicy Tutu's fans were very Buddhist. Slandering our sister E? Sure, do whatever you want. If we don't slap Blackie's face swollen, it'll be our loss. Seeing that the situation had taken a turn for the worse, the Spicy Tutu fans started spamming emojis of lotus flowers and world peace. Who would have thought that their actions would go out of the entertainment circle? The fans were all amused by Spicy Tutu's actions. Ha ha ha, Xiangyi's fans are funnier than her. I've never seen such a lazy fan. Are you a bunch of middle-aged men? Have some self-awareness and go fight. What kind of treasure is this fan? The emojis are so cute. Can I join Spicy Tutu on the spot? Just send me more emojis? At the same time, Shi Sui stepped into Nanqing Mental Hospital. Chapter 644. It was summer in Southern City, and the temperature was scorching hot. However, perhaps it was because of the greenery in the hospital, the moment she entered, she felt the temperature drop by a few degrees. Please sign the visitor's registration form. The girl at the front desk recognized Shi Sui and couldn't help but take a few more glances. The man was tall and well-proportioned, with broad shoulders and long legs. He wore a black silk shirt, looking casual and casual. The gold-rimmed glasses softened the sharpness in the man's eyes. Every inch of his face seemed to be softened by a filter. When he lowered his eyes to sign, his black eyelashes cast a faint shadow. His hand was cursive, and his strokes were strong. Done. He pushed the form back. This way, please. The mental hospital was privately operated and the service was excellent. The nurse led the way for Shi Sui and they arrived in front of a ward. This is Miss Qin Wanyan's ward. If you need anything, just press the bell. Shi Sui nodded in thanks. After the nurse left, he raised his hand and knocked twice on the door. The door was pulled open, revealing a haggard face. Qin Wanyan was no longer as beautiful as before. Her hair, which had been permed and dyed too many times, was no longer cared for. It was as messy as weeds, and the ends of her hair had faded to an ugly yellow. She had lost a lot of weight. When she saw Shi Sui, her eyes shone brightly. Shi Sui. She was surprised and overjoyed. Then she asked carefully, Are you here to save me? The man was calm. Good morning, Miss Qin. You must be here to save me. Qin Wanyan tried to grab Shi Sui's wrist, but the man evaded her. She missed, but she wasn't discouraged. She begged humbly, Please save me. I'm not crazy. I'm really not. I'm just locked up here. Ever since she suggested to the system to let Xiangyi complete the mission, everything had changed. She was no longer the chosen one who was about to transmigrate. Instead, she had become an exile from the system. Her career was ruined, and her family and friends had all fallen out with her. She could feel her life slipping away. Every time she woke up, she seemed to have aged a few years. However, that wasn't the scariest thing. The scary thing was that everyone in this building was mentally ill. For example, there would be all kinds of strange noises in the corridor every night. For example, the patient next door would suddenly knock on her door and let out a strange laugh. Qin Wanyan was about to go crazy from the double torture of her body and mind. Shi Sui said, Let's talk. If you can give me the information I want, I'll consider helping you. A few minutes later, in the garden of the hospital. Qin Wanyan was wrapped in a thick knitted coat and a blue and white hospital gown. She trembled and said, "Do you know? I'm a fast transmigrator. The kind that allows one to travel to another world." Two patients who were taking a walk passed by. Someone laughed and laughed. "Look, look, she's mentally ill." Another person licked his lollipop. "Yeah, he's pretty sick." Qin Wanyan. Is there anything more ironic than being called a lunatic by a lunatic? She smiled bitterly. "Forget it, I know you won't believe me." Unexpectedly, the man said lightly, "I believe you." Qin Wanyan! Exclamation point. Her eyes were filled with ecstasy, like a drowning person who had caught the last straw. "Really?" Shi Sui looked at her, his eyes especially gentle under the warm sunlight. "Yes." Qin Wanyan sobbed. "The system is a liar. Everything is a scam." Chapter 645. She was overjoyed, like a drowning person who had found her last life-saving straw. "Really?" Shi Sui looked at her, his eyes especially gentle under the warm sunlight. "Yes." Qin Wanyan sobbed. "The system is a liar. It's all a scam." Unexpectedly, the man said calmly, "I believe you." Qin Wanyan was speechless. An hour later, Qin Wanyan was crying her eyes out. Shi Sui was indifferent and had no intention of giving her a tissue or a handkerchief. Qin Wanyan was speechless. Why did she always run into such iron-willed men? "I've arranged a sanatorium for you, but before that, please come with me." Qin Wanyan nodded frantically. As long as Shi Sui could save her, she was willing to do anything. As for the unspoken rules, if Shi Sui wanted to sleep with her, she would be more than willing. The man didn't take her back to the manor, but to Xing Chen Entertainment. Even if Xiangyi didn't know, he had arranged for 2 cars, one in front and one at the back, to avoid being in a confined space with any woman. Seeing a familiar figure, he gestured for the driver to stop by the roadside. He got out of the car and walked to the side of the road. Before he could say anything, Xiang Feng shouted from the tree, "You came at the right time. Sui Sui, give me a plastic bag. There are so many peaches, it's a pity not to pick them all." Xiang Feng's special assistant, who was dressed in a suit and leather shoes, was standing next to him, but at this moment, he looked like he was about to collapse. Why was their domineering CEO so rustic? He climbed trees faster than a monkey. He couldn't stop him no matter how hard he tried. Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. "If I remember correctly, this is a green fruit tree." "So, the green fruit tree is for viewing, not for you to climb up and pick." After a pause, Shi Sui added, "Of course, to put it simply, these peaches don't taste good." Xiang Feng was speechless for a few seconds, then silently slid down from the tree. He muttered softly, "Why didn't you say so earlier? I'm itching to death." Suddenly, Qin Wanyan got out of the car and met Xiang Feng's gaze. "Xiang Feng, oh? Is this your grandmother? Why does it look different from before?" To Qin Wanyan, these words were like a knife stabbing into her heart. Shi Sui turned to Qin Wanyan and asked, "No reaction?" Qin Wanyan shook her head. "No." From that day onwards, the system disappeared. However, this did not mean that it had given up on her. Instead, it was slowly erasing her soul. It was like a wild beast that had caught its prey and was not in a hurry to eat it. Instead, it was slowly toying with it, watching its prey suffer, go mad, collapse, and despair. Shi Sui pondered for a moment and asked the driver to send her away. Xiang Feng asked dumbly, "What are you two doing? Why do you keep saying things I don't understand?" Shi Sui did not answer but asked, "Have any strange people approached you recently?" Xiang Feng rubbed his chin and thought for a while, then said, "No." The assistant on the side reminded him appropriately, "Mr. Xiang, the college student who tried to blackmail you this morning, the clerk who poured coffee on you last night, and the waiter who crawled under your bed in the hotel. I think they're all quite strange." Xiang Feng, ha 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 ha, don't you think they're fun? Don't panic, take a picture and post it on your WeChat moments to entertain my good friends. The assistant, Shi Sui, smiled faintly. So many people. Chapter 646. Hence, every time a person appeared, Shi Sui would compile a summary. Before Xiangyi came back, he had counted a total of 17 people. And now, Xiang Feng seemed to have encountered the same situation. However, he was slow to react and hadn't realized it yet. With a rough idea in mind, Shi Sui looked at his watch and said calmly, "It's about time, I should go back and feed Sister Yi's chickens, ducks, and geese." Xiang Feng's assistant was dumbfounded. Feed the chickens? Feed the ducks? Feed the geese? He really wanted to shake Shi Sui's shoulders and yell, "Shi Sui, wake up. You shouldn't be using your hands to do such a thing." Xiang Feng's assistant looked at Xiang Feng with some hope in his eyes. He was hoping that Xiang Feng would dissuade Shi Sui, but to his surprise, Xiang Feng nodded in agreement. "No matter how poor we are, we can't let the chickens, ducks, and geese suffer. Feed them more, we can't let them starve and lose weight. When Xiangyi comes back, I'm still waiting to eat the big plate of chicken, fruit-scented roast duck, and marinated goose." Xiang Feng's assistant was dumbfounded. Is this what they mean by, if you're not a family, you won't enter the same house? The discussion of the experts came to an end, and the next step was the clinical treatment. Xiang Yi had been working under Xiang Yi's grandfather for a few days, and her performance made the experts. Oh no, the masters increasingly pleased with her. The more they saw her, the more they liked her. She was a woman of few words, diligent, and professional. Be it the accumulation of theoretical knowledge or the practice of clinical diagnosis and treatment, they couldn't find any fault with her. If one were to pick bones in an egg and find fault with it, to say, that was because they had discovered the treasure too late. After learning that Xiangyi was now an artist, many masters were tempted to recruit her. It was rare for them to have a moment of rest, so they tried to poach her. "Young lady, do you want to go to graduate school with me?" "Hey, my dear disciple, I have a spot for you for a master's degree. Why don't you come with me when I visit a foreign medical school next time?" Xiangyi turned down their good intentions one by one. The masters could only wring their hands and sigh. There was nothing they could do. They could only watch as the little girl put on the protective suit and entered the isolation ward again. Over the past few days, everyone had to maintain a high level of concentration at all times. This was a test for the older experts, but Xiangyi was very adaptable and did not feel tired at all. Moreover, the amount of sleep he got every day was only 3 to 4 hours. This little girl is quite stubborn. An expert sighed and lamented. Everyone felt their hearts ache at the same time. But at the same time, he was gratified. It can be said that we have a successor. A new patient was sent to the ward. His symptoms were relatively mild. After Xiangyi felt his pulse, she had a rough idea. In addition to the usual treatment, I'll prescribe 3 doses of medicine for him first. Xiangyi instructed the nurse. Through the protective mask, her voice sounded a little muffled, but it was enough for people to recognize her. The man on the hospital bed asked with uncertainty, "Are you Vase?" Cough, Xiangyi? Xiangyi, yes. Through the protective goggles, the young man met a pair of extremely beautiful eyes. His heartbeat sped up, and he said with a cold face, "I don't want you to treat me." His voice was very loud, and the patients in the isolation ward all looked over at him. Thinking of the comments he saw online, the man instantly found his confidence. "You're so young, and you're even a woman. I don't feel at ease letting you treat me." Xiangyi understood. "Are you doubting my medical skills?" Chapter 647. Her tone was calm and monotonous. The man couldn't figure out what she was thinking and felt uneasy. What should he do? What if Xiangyi insisted on treating him? It was said on the internet that Xiangyi was just a vase fairy, a second-generation doctor who relied on her grandfather's identity as a famous doctor to get into the group of specialists. He was really unlucky to have contracted this disease and met a doctor with poor medical skills like Xiangyi. "Anyway, I'll never let you treat me. Please wait a moment. I'll get someone to call another doctor over." The man's hysterical yelling was in stark contrast to the girl's gentle and calm voice. The man widened his eyes in disbelief when he heard Xiangyi's words. Why was Xiangyi different from what he had imagined? On the bed next door was a young female university student who had been admitted in the same batch. Her thoughts were completely different from the man's. Xiangyi was so young, but she was able to get into the group of specialists. What did that mean? It meant that Xiangyi was so amazing at such a young age. She immediately raised her hand enthusiastically. "Sister E. Ahem, Dr. Xiang, can you take a look at me?" Xiangyi nodded and walked to her bed. The man secretly felt lucky. There were so many fools, but fortunately, he was smart. Instead of looking for an older specialist, he found a young woman to treat him. How could she be reliable? Time passed by slowly. The man realized that after Xiangyi took the female university student's pulse and prescribed a prescription, the doctor who was going to treat him finally arrived. There was no other reason other than that all the medical staff were too busy and almost all of them were working around the clock. The doctor who was going to treat him was a very famous Western doctor. In order to ensure the accuracy of the diagnosis, he first arranged for the man to undergo various tests. Just these tests alone were enough to make the man feel unbearable. It wasn't over yet. After the tests, he had to wait for a long time before the doctor finally arrived. After that, he was prescribed a lot of medicine and had to be injected with needles and infusions. The man turned to look at the bed next door. Damn, that female university student had taken Chinese medicine. The medicine had a sleeping effect. Not long after, the female university student felt sleepy. She closed her eyes and fell into a deep sleep. The man could only console himself that Western medicine was the quickest way to take effect. It could cure illnesses. It was said on the internet that the traditional Chinese medicine soup was a placebo. It was just a lie. The hospital did not restrict the use of mobile phones. The man had an 4-drip in one hand and typed with difficulty with the other. After sending the message, he scrolled through his phone in torment, feeling as if each day was like a year. After a night, the medical staff came to check on the female university student next door and then pushed her to another ward. The man had been on a drip for a long time. He looked swollen and haggard. He comforted himself that the female university student's condition must have worsened. How pitiful. TSK. Little did she know that 2 hot posts had appeared on the Melon forum. It was a post with a clickbait title. "I'm in Shizhou Hospital. I want to live." The post's text. "I never thought that such a disaster would befall me." Saying that the sky has collapsed is not enough to describe it. The whole world seems to have darkened. I suddenly realized that living is a luxury. I'm currently in Shizhou Hospital. Coincidentally, the first person to treat me was the vase fairy, the female celebrity Xiangyi. Fortunately, I was quick-witted and quickly changed the doctor. With her standard, it would be strange if she could cure me. The other post was very similar to a rumor. The title was, F*CK, I'm sick and I'm about to recover? Chapter 648. Post. First of all, let me calm down. I still feel like I'm in a dream. Okay, I'll briefly explain my situation. That's right, I've been infected with a disease that has recently spread in Shizhou, but my symptoms are very mild and my body functions are quite good. When I was hospitalized, I was almost scared to death. I felt like I was going to die at any moment because I heard that this disease would get worse and worse. Then, I met Xiangyi. Yes, she's the female celebrity who's often criticized on the internet. There was an annoying person in the next bed who kept saying that Xiangyi was young and female, so her medical skills weren't good enough. I got angry when I heard that. Besides, I felt that Xiangyi's skills were top-notch since she could join the expert team, so I chose her for treatment. Now, I've been transferred to the isolation ward. The nurse said that if everything goes well, I should be discharged in a week. As soon as the post was posted, netizens quickly arrived at the scene. Hey? Is Xiangyi Hua Tuo reincarnated? F*CK, what else can I say? Sister E is awesome. OP, who knows if you're telling the truth? You're cured just because you said so? Wait a minute, this post is connected to the post next door. So that OP rejected Xiangyi's treatment and hasn't recovered yet, but OP, you're almost fully recovered? There were many doubters, so the OP added a few pictures of herself in the hospital in Xizhou. This time, the post went viral. It went all the way to the Hot Topic section of the Melon Forum. The netizens who saw this post were dumbfounded. Huh? 2 days ago, weren't there people who were criticizing Xiangyi for being ostracized and being a second-generation doctor? But didn't Xiangyi cure the patient? Someone said sourly, she must have been lucky. The OP also said that she's a patient with a mild illness. Maybe her immune system is good. Maybe it's not a cure, but a self-healing. At this moment, the official media in Xizhou released an exciting report. Frowny face good news. The first patient in Xizhou to be cured has set a new record. The netizens clicked on it. Wow, isn't this the OP of the Melon Forum? They thought she was exaggerating, but they didn't expect the truth to be, she's too conservative. How was he about to recover? He was clearly already alive and kicking. However, he was worried that she might still be contagious, so he had her isolated for observation. In addition, this report used a lot of space to describe Xiangyi. Moreover, she had been using the title, Dr. Xiangyi, the entire time. Dr. Xiangyi has chosen a flexible method of increasing and subtracting prescriptions in her treatment plan. She has accumulated a wealth of valuable clinical experience for the medical angels on the front lines of the protest. In addition, Dr. Xiangyi also created the mind-clearing Tai Chi exercise. Not only does it allow the patients to exercise their bodies, but it also relieves the patient's anxiety and pain, bringing a touch of bright color to the ward. For a time, the netizens were overjoyed. This is the best news I've heard in days. I'm tired of talking about it. Sister E is a hanger. I won't accept any rebuttal. Ha ha ha, why aren't those sour chickens jumping out just now? How many artists in the internal entertainment industry could get the official media to personally kiss up to them? You can count them with your fingers. In the ward. When the man heard the news that the female university student next to him had recovered, he felt like he had been struck by lightning. How is this possible? He was still here on an 4 drip, but Xiangyi had already cured him? Chapter 649. Although the expert who treated him was also very good and his health had improved, there would be no harm if there was no comparison. She was already alive and kicking, but he didn't dare to move around. It was especially inconvenient for him to go to the bathroom. If he had let Xiangyi treat him in the beginning, wouldn't he have recovered by now? It was too late for the man to regret it. He finally understood that he was a complete fool. The post posted by the female university student was reposted on Weibo and coupled with the official media report in Xizhou, it could be said that it had slapped countless haters in the face. The netizens in China were having a great time watching the drama unfold. However, a blogger suddenly posted a set of photos. The photos came from one of the largest social media platforms abroad, and the content could be described as unsightly. Not only was it a distorted interpretation of the epidemic in Xizhou, but it also went as far as to attack the medical standards of China and even made people speechless. In an instant, the fandom sisters who had always been at odds with each other actually unified their battle lines in a matter of minutes. You want to compete with the fandom sisters? Haha, forgive us for being blunt, but you people overseas are all trash. Hence, the foreign social media platforms were instantly taken over by the Chinese netizens. Let me see, there are all those orphans who are making noise. Go to the 4 streets of North, South, East, and West and find out who your father is. No way, right? No one really believes in these fake news, right? Our Chinese medicine dishes? I'm sorry, But the Chinese people have a history of 5,000 years, and there are many famous doctors. Countless Chinese medicine masters have helped the poor and helped the common people. How can you scumbags have the right to comment? After that, netizens from all over the forums, Chieba, Weibo, and other social media platforms rushed over, using beautiful Chinese, English, German, Italian, and other languages to have a cordial and friendly exchange with the foreign netizens. At one point, the scene was very enthusiastic. As they quarreled, the Chinese netizens realized that there were fewer and fewer people online. What's wrong? Are they that weak? In the end, they realized that many foreign netizens had updated their posts. Oh my God! The mysterious Chinese food show has finally been updated. Oh my God! I finally waited for the day when the witch's magical cuisine will be updated. Hamburgers, fried chicken, beer, and pasta are ready. Alice, the cute Chinese fairy, what food will she make this time? Oh my God! I'm so looking forward to it. What should I do? I'm already salivating. The Chinese netizens? What the hell? Is the witch's magical cuisine some kind of gourmet show? Why did it sound so childish? Who's Alice? A popular celebrity overseas. Everyone was puzzled until an international student solved the case for everyone. Let me explain. The witch's magic cuisine is the foreign translation of two under one roof. Actually, Sister E was very popular overseas. Everyone, from the elderly to the children, especially liked to watch her variety shows. In a sense, Sister E has already realized the export of gourmet culture overseas. All the netizens. The F***CK? Was Xiangyi so proud of her countrymen? That international student then updated his status. Also, Xiangyi's latest, Witch's Magic Dance, also went viral on foreign social media today. There were many imitators. I've got at least a few dozen short videos today. The netizens curiously clicked on it and realized that it was Xiangyi's fresh Tai Chi exercise? Tai Chi equals magic dance? There seemed to be nothing wrong with it. Chapter 650. When the news spread online, the netizens were dumbfounded at first, and then, they couldn't help but burst into laughter. Xiangyi, you're indeed amazing. Spicy Tutu was even more proud of herself. Cooking is known as magical cuisine and exercising is known as magical dancing. What does it mean to export Chinese cuisine and Tai Chi culture? It means that Sister E is Magical Girl Duck. Soon, the hashtag Magical Girl E became a trending topic on the internet. She clicked on it to see that there were all sorts of netizens' comments. Ah, this is hilarious. Is Xiangyi really not going to consider becoming a comedian? Not only is Xiangyi hilarious, her fans have also gone out of line a few times. They're Buddhist, silly, chunibyu, and positive. This is what a fan should be like. This joke is so magical. The little girl in my kindergarten has already started asking me how Sister Xiangyi transformed. How should I answer her? I'm waiting for an answer online. It's urgent. It was lunchtime. The initial results of the treatment plan were evident, and the team of experts could finally sit down for a meal. Looking at his little granddaughter who had lost a lot of weight in just a few days, Xiang Yin's heart ached. Although he refused to say anything, his actions were very honest as he kept putting food into Xiang Yi's bowl. In addition, Fong Laoyun, Old Jing, and the others were also helping Xiang Yi to the dishes. The food in front of her had already piled up into a mountain. Xiang Yi didn't refuse and ate obediently. Her cheeks were full and round, making her look like a little hamster. By the way, the reporters from CCTV will be coming over for a few minutes later for a live broadcast. Old Mr. Fong was the most well-informed. He said smilingly, they'll probably focus on interviewing Xiang Yi. In the words of a young man, Xiang Yi was not only the most capable expert in the team of experts, she was also the most good-looking one. Xiang Yi said, "Oh." She then took a big bite of the beef patty. The reporters from CCTV happened to enter and captured this scene. Unlike the previous live broadcast of the news on the West Continent TV station, this time, it was a live broadcast that everyone in the country could watch. Hence, regardless of gender, age, or gender, all the viewers who were watching the news were struck by the sight of Xiang Yi eating the biscuit in one bite. The elderly, look at how hungry she is. She's at Grandpa and Grandma's house. The middle-aged man, she's eating so well. She's eating so. It would be great if she was his daughter. Young man, ah, so cute, I'm gone. What kind of peerless cutie is Sister E? Reporter Song, who came for the interview, saw this scene and had a hard time holding back his laughter. He secretly pinched his thigh and walked to the table. He first greeted the experts and then began the interview. First was the issue of the epidemic that the public was most concerned about. Elder Fong spoke on behalf of the representative and answered the reporter's question. Everything is going well. The future is promising. I only hope that the country will prosper and the people will be at peace. Then, it was time to chat. Sure enough, reporter Song pointed the microphone at Xiang Yi. Dr. Xiang Yi, is this biscuit delicious? How does it taste? He thought that the girl would act pitiful or complain. After all, she was still a little girl. It was indeed not easy for her to work so hard. Unexpectedly, the young girl gave a thumbs up. Fragrant, so fragrant. Puff. Whether it was the people at the scene or the audience in front of the screen, everyone burst into laughter. However, the girl rubbed her belly in a serious and embarrassed manner. I still want to eat one more. Is that okay? Chapter 651. In an instant. The audience. The netizens on the internet were all roaring in real time. Eat. Let Sister E eat. One is not enough. Eat more. No, I can't take it anymore. Nurse, hurry up and add some blood to me. Damn it, where are the medics? Give me an injection of insulin. With a sullen expression, Xiang Yi handed her a pancake and said in a fierce tone, Eat. However, if one paid close attention, they would realize that the pancake he was holding was the largest one. Xiang Yi's eyebrows curved as she happily ate the pancakes. Reporter Song was stunned for a moment before he burst into laughter. Her response was really wonderful. Firstly, the public was concerned about the food standards of the medical staff who were fighting on the front line. The fact that Xiang Yi was eating so happily proved that the medical staff didn't suffer from any hardship in terms of food. Secondly, she didn't complain at all, but it made people feel sorry for her and all the medical staff. She was so happy eating such an ordinary and simple meal, which was more touching than deliberately stirring up emotions. Reporter Song thought of another entry point and subconsciously changed the way he addressed Xiang Yi. He asked in a gentle voice, Sister E, I heard that you've been very busy recently and don't have time to contact your family and friends. Is there anything you'd like to say? Our production team can pass the message on your behalf. Xiang Yi blinked and asked, Can I only say it to one person? Reporter Song looked at the time of the live stream to see that there wasn't much time left. The TV station would probably cut off the live stream when it was time, but he could upload the video online. Hence, he said generously, anyone can do it. Hearing this, Xiang Yi cleared her throat and looked at the screen. There seemed to be a faint moonlight in her clear and quiet eyes. Big brother, no matter how busy you are at work, don't drink coffee on an empty stomach. Second brother, you have to do regular rehabilitation and maintenance for your hands. Third brother, when you can't come up with a draft, don't go looking for inspiration on the tree. It's very dangerous. Fourth brother, if you train for more than an hour, you have to look out of the window. Otherwise, your eyes will hurt. Uncle, the peach trees and mulberries downstairs of your company should be ripe soon. Don't pick them secretly. It's not that they're poisonous, but they're decorative fruit trees. They taste awful. Third brother and I have already tasted them. The little girl was talking about trivial matters, but it was heartwarming and interesting. Surprisingly, the TV station did not cut off the live broadcast. On the contrary, he played this part in its entirety. Through the screen, Xiangyi's words struck a chord with countless people. In the past, everyone's understanding of doctors was more metaphysical. In fact, there was often negative news about doctors in society. Conflicts between doctors and patients happened from time to time. That was because ordinary people did not understand doctors at all. Now, he suddenly realized that doctors were also humans. There were also feelings of joy, anger, sorrow, and joy. There were also feelings of longing, and such a cute and soft side. The corners of many people's eyes were slightly wet. However, he heard Xiangyi suddenly pause for 2 seconds. Then, she pursed her lips and lowered her eyes. Her black eyelashes trembled slightly. And, boyfriend, did you miss me? The audience. Where? Aren't we watching Central TV News? Why was she being fed dog food? On the screen, the fair and beautiful girl mustered up the courage to look directly at the camera. Her eyes were like falling stars, bright and smiling. She said softly, "I missed you." After saying that, the little girl pretended to be calm. However, her soft and slender fingers, which were holding the beef patty, curled up shyly. Chapter 652. The audience was grinning from ear to ear. The fans of the untimely couple went crazy. The comment section was filled with the excited shouts of the couple's fans. "Oh, kill me to cheer up Shi Sui and Sister E. It's too sweet, too sweet. How can it be so sweet? Shi Sui, did you hear that? Sister E is saying that she misses you. I'm about to pass out. Is Xiang Yi shy? Don't delay the biscuits, they won't taste good when they're cold. Don't worry, we'll tell Shi Sui about it for you." At the same time, in the live stream of Two Under One Roof, today's guest was the domineering CEO of the Xiang Corporation, Feng Feng. The fans complained that Li Jianyu was too good at saving money, but soon, they found out. The reason was that Xiang Feng was too hilarious. He climbed trees to fish, scratched his feet, and crossed his legs. It was so realistic. Besides, he was also a walking beeper, which happened to neutralize Shi Sui's gentle and taciturn nature. The two of them had been live streaming for half a day, and even the Sui Feng couple had popped up. What should we do? Domineering CEO X Sui Feng is a demon. Do you think we can get married? The untimely couple sneered and looked down on everything. The untimely couple is the official match. The official wife is here. The other couples are all concubines. The Sui Feng couple was indignant. They had been brothers for many years, and during Shi Sui's most difficult time, Xiang Feng was the one who reached out to him and signed him. In terms of age, Shi Sui and Xiang Feng had known each other for several years longer than Shi Sui and Xiangyi. However, when Shi Sui turned on the TV to watch the live news, the comment section was instantly filled with comments about the untimely couple. The Sui Feng couple wept. "We were wrong after all." Xiang Feng was very noisy, and he was the type of person who could talk to himself and entertain himself, let alone when he was with Shi Sui. He munched on potato chips and said smugly, "Our little Xiangyi is so beautiful. She can actually resist the HD filterless camera of CCTV. Everyone finally snapped out of their daze. Yeah. This was a live broadcast on Central TV. All kinds of demons and ghosts had to show themselves, but Xiangyi not only resisted, but also highlighted her delicate facial features. In the crowd, it was so white that it seemed to glow. The little girl was eating meat pies. In the living room, two men occupied the two ends of the sofa. One of them was smiling so widely that his eyes couldn't be seen, while the other's thin lips were slightly curved and his eyes were filled with love. When Xiang Feng heard the instructions to his family, he wailed and slapped his thigh. "Sob sob, little Xiangyi, you went to pick peaches and mulberries with Chi-Chi without me." Netizens. Feng Feng of the Xiang clan, isn't your focus a bit off? Shi Sui's elbows and jawline were smooth as he leaned lazily on the sofa, looking extremely relaxed. But when he heard the words, "I miss you," his dark eyes lit up. It was as if the cold Milky Way was burning hot. Xiang Feng was dissatisfied. "Why don't you miss me? Am I not your favorite little uncle?" Next to him, Shi Sui softly hummed and lowered her eyebrows. Her handsome face was blurred by the light and shadow, but her voice was clear and cheerful. "Yeah, I miss you too." Xiang Feng seemed to have been cast with a mute spell as the beeper went silent at this moment. A moment later, he let out an earth-shattering roar. "How cruel! Are you guys trying to trick a dog to come here and kill it?" The live broadcast room suddenly became a scene of a large-scale carnival. "Ha ha 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 ha, you're indeed a team of bullies. Sisters, it's a double arrow of love. If you get it, you've earned it. I announce that the two newlyweds are officially husband and wife. Play the music. Dang 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 dang." Chapter 653. As for the Sui Feng couple, they hugged each other and cried on the spot. "Sorry, we're not worthy. The official couple is the best." Reporter Song was indeed a famous reporter. He could still maintain a smile even after being fed dog food. The director's voice came through the earpiece. "Continue, we have 2 more minutes. The viewership ratings have gone through the roof." It wasn't just the viewership ratings. The online search index on the internet was also constantly increasing. The live broadcast website crashed because there were too many viewers in a short period of time. The production team deliberately made adjustments to get more time for the interview. Of course, the main focus was to interview Xiangyi. Not only was it positive, but it also naturally revealed kinship and love. Which news reporter wouldn't love it? Reporter Song thought for a while and asked about Xiangyi's Tai Chi exercise. "Sister E, your Tai Chi exercise has become popular overseas. Do you have anything to say about it?" Xiangyi said embarrassedly, "I can't say that it's mine. I adapted it based on some basic movements of Tai Chi. It's actually equivalent to radio gymnastics. It's mainly to let the patient move around and relax." "I see." Reporter Song smiled and asked, "I'm a little surprised. There aren't many young people who know Tai Chi these days." "I just know a little. Why don't Sister E teach us a few self-defense Tai Chi moves?" Xiangyi hesitated for a moment and said, "Can I train? I have a simple version of Tai Chi exercise." "Sure." Reporter Song thought that Tai Chi was not practical enough, so he didn't make things difficult for Xiangyi. The girl got up and casually got into position. Her every move was very simple and elegant. It was a combination of softness and softness, combining softness and agility with toughness. Her will, qi, form, and spirit were all in harmony, like flowing water. The audience was dumbfounded. Her movements are simple, but her aura is too strong. "I'm shocked, I can feel the wind through the screen. Sister E can't really know martial arts, can she? Ha, that's all there is to it. If she wants to punch me, she'll have to kneel on the ground and beg me not to die." Even the experienced and knowledgeable reporter Song was stunned. He had seen the representatives of several Tai Chi sects in the country. They were all people who had devoted themselves to cultivation for decades. Only then did they have the inner strength that was described in martial arts novels. But Xiangyi was so young, and he could feel her inner strength. He was so far away that his hair was blown by the wind caused by Xiangyi's movements. Could it be that she didn't teach him self-defense techniques because don't need it? After Xiangyi demonstrated a few movements, the audience applauded. The experts present all wanted to clap their hands until they broke into pieces and kept praising her. "Our little disciple is really awesome. Disciples' Tai Chi moves are comfortable and broad. Hardness and softness complement each other, and the will and Qi combine. Wonderful. Is there anything in this world that my beloved disciple can't do? No. My beloved disciple is too awesome." The little girl was a little embarrassed. She pursed her lips and said, It's not that powerful, expert team. Of course not. Our obedient disciples are outstanding. Plain and simple, spacious and empty like a valley. Disciple, you don't have to be too humble. That's right, that's right. If anyone dares to say anything bad about you, I'll dissect a little rabbit for them to see, humph. Everyone was talking at once. They really treated the little girl like a pearl in their palms. The audience was mesmerized on the spot. TSK, aren't you experts usually very serious? Why are you spoiling a little girl like this? Chapter 654. The atmosphere was joyous and harmonious. All of a sudden, the bell on the table rang. The experts who were originally relaxed immediately sat up straight with stern expressions. Some hurriedly wiped their mouths, some hurriedly tidied up their clothes, and some skillfully removed their wigs. At first, there were still some audience members who were puzzled and joked around. I'm going to be struck by lightning if I persuade people to learn medicine. Expert, I'm going bald in the path of medicine, but I've also become stronger. I suddenly realized that Xiangyi and Xiangyin have the best hair out of all of them. The Xiang family's genes are really impressive. Reporter Song was about to ask Xiangyi what happened, but he saw her striding out. Dr. Xiangyi. She looked back with her clear eyes calm and indifferent. She nodded at him slightly and said, "Excuse me." Reporter Song was confused. Why did she leave just like that? The other younger experts also left one after another. Eager to protect his disciple, Elder Jing supported himself with a table and got up. No, I have to go and take a look. I can't let my dear disciple tire herself out. However, after getting up, his body swayed a little. Reporter Song was quick to react and hurriedly supported him. Elder Jing's eyes were red with anger. If I were 10 years younger, this would be nothing. Nothing. Elder Yun sighed. They were now in the mood to practice medicine, but they didn't have the strength to do so. After days of hard work, Xiangyi was the only one who could still run. The old men were already exhausted. The respected Elder Fong explained, "This bell means that there are patients in need of rescue." Reporter Song was suddenly enlightened. Oh, I see. Forget it. Let's go and take a look too. Even if we can't do it ourselves, we can at least give them some advice. Elder Fong waved his hand and continued, "We can't let the young people look down on us." Everyone supported each other and dragged their exhausted bodies, but their eyes were full of determination. Occasionally, the sound of experts arguing could be heard. "Old man, can you do it or not? You're already panting after taking a few steps? Weren't you very agile when you were snatching the braised pork balls just now? If you ask me, you Western medicine doctors should learn how to maintain your health too. What's wrong with wearing a wig? It's better than some of you wearing dentures." Reporter Song's throat rolled as he looked at the group of exhausted but cheerful experts. His emotions were churning and indescribable. It was because of this group of people that the problem could be solved. "Thank you all for your efforts." Reporter Song, who had always been eloquent, spoke dryly at this moment. He couldn't find the words to express his feelings. Our live broadcast today ends here. The live broadcast was interrupted, and the television began to broadcast other news. The audience in front of the screen remained silent for a long time. That scene was simply too shocking. Especially when Xiangyi took the lead and walked out, her steps were so fast that it was as if she was walking on the wind. Her slender and thin figure carried far too much. No matter how cold-hearted a person was, he would feel from the bottom of his heart that, "Little girl, it really wasn't easy." On the internet, the spicy tutu girls were all crying. The moment our sister E rushed out without hesitation, it was so good to cry. Those who slander Sister E, listen up. She was not a vase fairy, nor was she a second-generation doctor. She was Dr. Xiangyi. She was an angel. Oh my God, I'm watching the live broadcast of CCTV and 2 under one roof at the same time. Shi Sui's heart is aching. In the living room, Shi Sui's long eyelashes drooped and he didn't move for a long time. However, if one took a closer look, they would realize that his hands, which were hanging on the sofa, were clenched into fists. He was using so much force that his knuckles were pale. Chapter 655. Even the beeping machine, Xiang Feng, was drooping his head in dejection. In fact, he knew very well that although Xiang Yin supported his children and grandchildren to choose a career they were passionate about, he definitely wanted someone to inherit his medical skills. Unfortunately, he and Sangchen were really not interested in medical skills. Xiang Yi was a meticulous person. She could sense Xiang Yin's disappointment, so she had been following him around since she was a child. It was undeniable that she was indeed interested in medical skills, but more than that, she didn't want Xiang Yin to have no successor. When she was a child, Xiang Yi would often doze off while memorizing Chinese medicine prescriptions. Occasionally, when she encountered difficult problems that she couldn't figure out, she would secretly hide in a corner and cry. Xiang Feng still felt his heart ache when he thought about it. He thought that his niece would be happy when she grew up, but to his surprise, she seemed to have more worries and responsibilities. Xiang Feng sniffled and said sadly, "My little Xiang Yi is working too hard. When you come back, I'll definitely buy you fried chicken, ice cream, and spicy strips." The netizens watching the live stream were appalled. What kind of dangerous statement is that? Mr. Xiang is in danger. Is he taking Sister Yi to eat garbage? How should I put it? Bullying is not without reason. Actually, Xiang Yin may be a little silly, but he's really nice to Sister Yi. He just wants to make Sister Yi happy. I feel like crying again. Xiang Feng turned his head and said with tears in his eyes, "Sway sway, cry if you want to, you don't have to hold it in. Come, lean on Daddy's shoulder." Shi Sui raised her eyebrows in confusion. Xiang Feng said, "I'll call you Sui Sui and you can call me Daddy. We'll talk about our own things." Shi Sui responded with a smile. "Why don't I beat you up and you get beaten up by me? Isn't that fair?" Xiang Feng was dumbfounded. Seeing that Shi Sui had begun to roll up her sleeves, Xiang Feng began to run for his life. "Help, little Xiang Yi, come back and save me." Shi Sui chased after him unhurriedly. "I'll keep you alive. Sister Yi can be saved anyway." Xiang Feng. The dignified and domineering CEO actually ran so fast that his slippers fell off. For a moment, the audience gasped in amazement. "My eyes are moist, and I'm holding back my tears." Smile. What was even more amusing was that as Xiang Feng ran, he picked a big tree and climbed up it. His movements were so skillful that those who heard it would shed tears and those who heard it would be heartbroken. Just how much experience did he have in taking a beating? Little Uncle's act of climbing trees to save his life is so practiced that it makes one's heart ache. I'm imagining him being chased and beaten up by Brother Demao and Brother Ermao. Feng Feng of the Xiang family is such a pitiful man. Help! Who still remembers that Xiang Feng is a domineering CEO? Why isn't he smiling wickedly? There's no fan-shaped statistics in his eyes either. Shi Sui crossed her arms and said faintly, "Come down." Xiang Feng hugged the tree trunk and said in a trembling voice, "Come up." Shi Sui sneered. Xiang Feng trembled. He remembered that Shi Sui also knew how to climb trees. Boo-hoo, what if he climbs up too? Xiang Feng was suffering, but through the lush foliage, he couldn't see the situation under the tree clearly. After waiting for a long time, there was no movement under the tree. Xiang Feng had an urge to pee, but he didn't dare to go down. Xiang Feng's imagination ran wild. Shi Sui must be waiting for me down there. If I go down now, wouldn't I be walking right into a trap? Boo-hoo. Little did he know that Shi Sui only stayed under the tree for a moment before leaving. The camera was still looking up at the tree, but the audience in the live stream couldn't stop laughing. "I'm laughing so hard, ha 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 ha." Chapter 656. Shocking, a certain domineering CEO is showing signs of atavism. Shering-di is so black-bellied, he left just like that. Mr. Xiang is so pitiful. Xiang Feng stayed on the tree for about 2 or 3 minutes before cautiously poking his head down to take a look. Huh? Where is she? He looked confused for a few seconds before regaining his composure. Ha! It's just an empty fort. Xiang Feng was like a detective deducing a crime scene. Sway, you've underestimated me. The man's serious comical look was even funnier than a comedian racking his brains for a joke. The audience in the live stream once again burst into laughter. Help, someone save me, I'm dying of laughter. Xiang Feng, a perfect man who's funny. Mr. Xiang. Sure Ingdi really just left. He just left. Under everyone's gazes, Xiang Feng laughed wildly with his hands on his hips and sat down on the tree trunk, looking like he was going to stay on the tree until the end of time. About 10 minutes later, Li Jianyu couldn't hold back his laughter and said, Mr. Xiang, Shi Sui has really left. Left? Xiang Feng crossed his arms and looked down at Li Jianyu with a domineering gaze. Do you think I'll believe you? You're such a naive, stupid, and ridiculous man. Li Jianyu, keep scolding me. This scene also became one of the classic and famous scenes of Two Under One Roof, which was later rewatched by countless loyal fans. It was also one of the funniest clips of variety shows. Xiang Feng sat on the tree for a whole hour. The production crew found a ladder and went up to persuade him one by one. It took a lot of effort for them to persuade Xiang Feng to come down. 1 second, 2 seconds. After waiting for a full 10 seconds, Xiang Feng still didn't see Shi Sui come out to beat him up. He was stunned on the spot. She really left? At the same time, on Weibo, an unknown director released a clip of behind-the-scenes footage. It was a short promotional film about the fight against the plague. The film started with the family affairs of small characters and was shot in an extremely natural manner. It wasn't the kind that made people cry, but rather, it subtly touched the audience's heart. From beginning to end, the people who appeared were all unknown actors, extras, and members of the public. Even the director himself went up to make a cameo appearance. The only exception was Shi Sui. He played the role of a university teacher who taught online classes through the internet. He was wearing a cotton plaid shirt, and his glasses had been replaced with the most ordinary black-rimmed glasses, but it was still difficult to conceal his clean and handsome temperament. His slender and flawless fingers tapped the table twice, and his voice was gentle. Hello, students. Please turn to page 79 of College Physics. In the behind-the-scenes footage, the young best actor had obviously used his original voice. His understanding of the lines was impeccable. Even though the scene was a little noisy, the man's pronunciation was still clearly heard by everyone. The Shi Sui sisters were thrilled to see this behind-the-scenes video. Physics teacher, I can do it. Oh my god, our best actor has finally made it. Karma. Yes. There's no trace of her acting skills at all, she's so immersive. This video actually climbed to the top of the search list without any publicity. Zhua Yi, who saw this trending topic, gripped his phone tightly. Eating well for all 3 meals was going downhill. He heard that Muyao TV was already preparing to give up this show and replace it with a new variety show. Now, his and Zhang Yuner's reputation had been ruined, but why was Shi Sui living so smoothly? Zhua Yi was so jealous that his eyes turned red. He switched to another account and found a blogger to expose. Chapter 657. In the rented apartment. Peeler was playing games while shaking his legs. Ever since he started operating Weibo accounts such as Online Celebrity Peeler and Melon in the Field, he had earned quite a lot of money, but he squandered it all away. He either used it for online gambling or for top-up games. When he ran out of money, he would continue to post posts to slander celebrities and internet celebrities and make money off of them. However, after Peeler was mocked by the netizens a few days ago for defaming Xiang Yi, he was worried that Xiang Yi would retaliate. Hence, he had been keeping a low profile for a few days and only posted some trivial posts on Weibo. After playing games, he lit a cigarette and scrolled through the trending searches on Weibo to find material for today's post. A private message from a friend popped up in the lower right corner of his screen. Peeler opened it and found that it was a new piece of news from a netizen named Extraordinary Joie. It was not the first time that this netizen had exposed him, and each time, it was particularly explosive. Peeler had successfully gained popularity several times by relying on the netizen's posts. As soon as he saw his new post, Peeler's eyes lit up. His face was sallow and haggard because he had stayed up late. Half an hour later, Peeler's fans realized that he had updated his post. Online celebrity Peeler v. I received news from a netizen that a certain best actor is suspected of being involved in illegal activities for receiving sky-high remuneration. Aren't the relevant departments going to investigate? Why should we pay our taxes so painstakingly while some people can evade them? The topic of paying taxes would make the headlines from time to time. The fact that celebrities paid taxes was the focus of countless people's attention. Upon seeing this Weibo post, all the netizens in the comment section began to imagine that the capital was online. Could it be that best actor I'm thinking of? The one on the trending searches? That's strange. His girlfriend is fair, rich, and beautiful, and he's from a wealthy family. That's unlikely. You probably don't know this, but SS family had an accident. When he was 17 years old, his family's company was not well managed and he owed a large sum of money. He debuted to make money. Don't use abbreviations. I'm dying of curiosity. Is SS Shui? Super soft. The Shui sisters immediately appeared to criticize him. Don't believe rumors, don't spread rumors, don't create rumors. Everyone, please pay more attention to Shui's career. She is the triple gold best actor Shui, Kanglan TV Emperor Shui, 10 billion box office Shui, fashion darling Shui. Since the establishment of Time Studio, it has been paying taxes legally. Shui herself has also supported public welfare projects many times. She has donated to poor mountainous areas, out-of-school children, deaf and mute schools, psychological institutions, and so on. Please don't disappoint those who truly do charity. However, Skinner smelled the scent of big gossip. He switched to another account and reposted the Weibo post he had posted, playing different roles. Sure, Ingdi would never do something like that. Trust him unconditionally. My whole family is shocked. SS actually paid sky-high fees and evaded taxes? Let's talk about the conspiracy theory. Could the 50 million donation to the West Continent also be to launder money? It's scary when you think about it. After a few accounts reposted it, the popularity of this Weibo post rose rapidly. Skinner was happily looking at the number of views on his website that was rapidly increasing. He was thinking that he could earn a lot of money today. Suddenly, a prompt box popped up on the screen. Frowny face, your account has been banned. Skinner, ? At the same time, the director of the anti-epidemic short film said, "Thank you, Shui, for acting in my short film for free. I'm deeply touched and would like to express my deep gratitude." Chapter 658. TSK. The netizens who had been standing on the moral and legal high ground to judge Shui were shocked. This turn of events was too unexpected. After all, an A-list celebrity's salary and appearance fees would start at least $1 million for a short film. It turned out that it wasn't a sky-high salary. It was a zero-pay deal? Is this for real? Why am I so doubtful? How can there be an artist in the entertainment industry who doesn't earn money? Are you sure it's not a fake contract? On the surface, it's a zero-pay deal, but on the other hand, it's a sky-high price? The director replied to the comment about the fake contract, "Please don't judge others based on preconceived notions. Perhaps such a phenomenon really exists in the industry, but I'm willing to guarantee with my life that Shui didn't take a single cent, not even the transportation fees. All the actors in the crew can testify." More and more people came forward. There were actors who had filmed the short film with him, as well as the scriptwriter and post-production staff. Even the takeaway boss who delivered the lunchboxes was full of praise for Shui. "This young man is really handsome. He's polite too. The weather was bad after I delivered the takeaway and it was about to rain. He even gave me an umbrella. The public opinion shifted from one side to the other. However, this time it was positive public opinion. There were also people in the industry who revealed that not only did Shi Sui get zero pay this time, but all the public welfare projects that he had participated in previously had all been for zero pay. Not only that, the director who had given him a chance at the beginning of his debut also charged him a discount when he acted in the director's work after he became popular. When his friend asked him to save the scene, he did it without hesitation. Only then did the netizens realize that Shi Sui seemed to not only be good at acting, but he also had a good character. Everyone was relishing in the gossip, and some people even gossiped that the city Shi Sui was filming in today was quite close to Shizhou, but they were soon mocked by the netizens. What kind of joke was this? Would Shi Sui go to see Xiongyi if it was close to the city? Would the almighty Shi Sui be so lovey-dovey? At this moment, in the nanny van, Shi Sui's long legs were crossed, and his slender fingers were knitting something. The tablet was casually placed to the side, and on the screen was Si Chuanbai's expressionless face. He went straight to the point. I've already dealt with the blogger who spread rumors about you on Weibo today. He's the only one with the internet celebrity skinning accounts. Shi Sui replied calmly, yes. Si Chuanbai saw that his reaction was normal, so he added, he often slandered Sister E, but his computer skills are very good. He even filled in his information from overseas. It took a lot of effort to successfully report him. I've sent the details to Mr. Sanction, and he said that he will personally write the legal documents. Nowadays, spreading rumors didn't come without cost. At the very least, they had to publicly apologize. If it was any other artist, they probably wouldn't have been so calculative. Unfortunately, he had provoked a certain crazy sister protector. Shi Sui frowned. Are there many people who slander Sister E? They've all been reported. Si Chuanbai was speechless. You don't even care if I'm slandering you, but why do you change when I mention Sister E? TSK, there are still two faces. Okay, I'll do as I see fit. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Shi Sui picked up the tablet and was about to end the video call. Si Chuanbai inadvertently caught a glimpse of the colorful yarn at the man's fingertips and exclaimed in surprise. You're knitting? Chapter 659. It's not. Si Chuanbai heaved a sigh of relief. The next second, he heard Shi Sui say casually, it's a hair clip. Si Chuanbai was confused. What was that? Was it the hair clip that he understood? It's for Sister E. Shi Sui tapped her fingers and sent a few photos to Si Chuanbai. It was the most popular knitted hair clip with bright colors and cute patterns. The other kids have one, but Sister E has to have one too. Si Chuanbai looked at the strawberry hair clip, bunny hair clip, and snow white hair clip and fell silent. I'll continue. Goodbye. Shi Sui hung up calmly. Si Chuanbai paused for a few seconds and asked Anan, hey, little colorful hair. In the office, Anan was using his laptop to chat with the netizens. His speed and ability to spit out vulgarities was amazing. However, while the netizens were ferocious with their keyboards, the real Anan sucked on a lollipop and let out a cute, ah. Si Chuanbai told him about Shi Sui knitting the hair clip and showed him the photos. This thing only costs a few yuan online, right? Do you have to knit it yourself? Anan said. This is probably why you can't find a girlfriend. Si Chuanbai raised his eyebrows. Oh. Don't you think it's sweet? Anan's tone was angry. Sugar. It's sugar. Who would be able to resist making something for the person they like? Is that so? Anan clicked on #untimely hashtag and taught Si Chuanbai how to make sugar. Come. I'll teach you how to make sugar. What's the essence of making sugar? First, it's eye contact, second, it's conversation, and third, it's details. But the real sugar is when two people are not in the same frame and can make a lot of sugar. We usually call this realm a sugar lover. Si Chuanbai pushed up his glasses with his fingers and took notes with a serious expression on his face. From time to time, he would make a few notes. In the room with the humidifier on, the water vapor was dense. Si Chuanbai, who was dressed in a suit and leather shoes, and Ah Nan, who was relaxing and exercising, were very close to each other. After nightfall, it began to rain in the West Continent. The patients who were sent over had all received effective treatment. However, no cure had been found yet. All the experts were at a loss. It was rare for them to have some free time. Sleep had become a luxury that made every second count. Most people went to rest. However, Xiangyi didn't rest. Instead, she sat by the window of the resting room and flipped through the electronic files of the ancient medical book with a focused expression. The electronic file was a photocopy of the picture. There were no punctuation marks, and it was still in traditional Chinese. Most people would find it difficult to even break out a sentence, but Xiangyi did not have any reading difficulties at all. She browsed through it at an extremely fast speed. Suddenly, her fingertips paused and she read it carefully a few more times. Her round eyes became brighter and brighter. Found it. The girl hurriedly took a screenshot and sent it to the newly created group of experts. She also summarized her reading notes and sent them out. Suddenly, the long-awaited system notification sounded in his mind. Host, the male lead is downstairs. Xiangyi was stunned for 2 seconds. Then, she pulled open the curtains and looked at a thin and tall figure through the pitter-patter of rain and the dark and silent night. Thump, thump. Her heartbeat suddenly quickened. Xiangyi was so helpless that her fingertips curled up. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Her phone vibrated. She glanced sideways and saw the name on the screen. AAA boyfriend Redheart. Chapter 660. The video call was connected. After a moment of darkness, Shi Sui's face appeared on the screen. Xiangyi blinked, not knowing what to do. She waved her hand clumsily and said, "Hi." Shi Sui's surroundings were dim. He stood under the street lamp, wearing a dark black sweater, which made his skin look cold and pale. The dim yellow light cast a gentle and clear silhouette on his entire person. Shi Sui said gently, "Hello?" Xiangyi said, "Hello." Shi Sui's eyebrows arched deeper. "Did our sister eat well?" Xiangyi felt a little guilty, but she still said, "Yes, yes." "What did you have for dinner?" Xiangyi couldn't answer. She mumbled, "Oh," and tried to muddle through with her cuteness. I ate a lot at noon. The beef patties are very fragrant. I'll cook them for you when I get back." Shi Sui sighed, but he didn't expose her. He just responded softly. "Aren't you cold?" The man asked in a low voice. "Be careful not to catch a cold." The girl on the screen was only wearing a milky white short-sleeved shirt. It was a loose-fitting version, probably for ease of movement. However, in this rainy summer night, she looked cold and slender. Xiangyi immediately jumped onto the single bed and wrapped the small blanket tightly. "I won't be cold like this," Shi Sui said. "Sister E is so good." Xiangyi shook her little legs. She was praised. Xiangyi was a little nervous at first, but because of Shi Sui's silent comfort, she gradually calmed down. She chatted with Shi Sui for a while. It was obviously nonsense, but inexplicably, she felt very warm and happy. "Don't you think we're like an old married couple?" Xiangyi played with the small blanket. It seemed that her parents' interactions when she was young were also like this. She didn't know which word pleased Shi Sui, but the man's dark eyes were filled with a smile. He said softly, "Yes." Xiangyi suddenly reacted. "You didn't bring an umbrella?" The drizzle soaked Shi Sui's hair. In his mind, the system's voice was bewitching. "Host, you can give the male lead an umbrella now this way. Not only can you give him an umbrella, you can also increase his favorability." Xiangyi, "Oh." The system was overjoyed. Finally. Is this woman finally going to do missions? This is great. The next second, Xiangyi transferred a sum of money to Shi Sui. At the same time, Shi Sui's phone rang with a notification. AAA girlfriend has transferred 1 million yuan to you. Shi Sui, the system, Xiangyi said with a serious face. I can't give you an umbrella. Otherwise, you'll be quarantined when you go back. It would even implicate Li Jianyu and Sister Ruan. Sorry, can you go to the convenience store and buy an umbrella? Or should I order takeout for you? The system was about to vomit blood. No, host, an umbrella isn't that expensive. The girl ignored it. Her delicate porcelain face was flushed. Don't misunderstand. I don't mean to humiliate you with money. I want to give you pocket money. Just like what her grandparents and brothers had given her. Her definition of pocket money since she was a child was, because her family loved her, and she was loved. Unfortunately, Xiangyi was the youngest, so she couldn't give others pocket money even if she wanted to. But today, she finally gave it to her boyfriend. Why aren't you saying anything? Xiangyi was a little uneasy. Would this hurt Shi Sui's self-esteem? Was her boyfriend angry? Chapter 661. On the other end of the screen. Shi Sui pulled up his sweater and put on the hood to block out the shadows. His Adam's apple bobbed as unfamiliar emotions surged in his heart. But it was beautiful. Shi Sui had always been a supporter of equal rights between men and women. He wasn't a male chauvinist, so he didn't feel that Xiangyi was insulting him or pitying him by giving him money. He really felt happy. When he was young, his parents lived apart. When he was young, his family changed. To Shi Sui, pocket money was an extremely luxurious thing. But Little Bunny gave him pocket money. Such a gentle, soft, and warm little bunny. If you don't like it, I won't do it again. I'm sorry, it's my first time in a relationship. It's my fault. Can you talk to me? The girl's clear voice came through the phone. Shi Sui finally raised his eyebrows. Those upturned peach blossom eyes seemed to be studded with stars, bright and burning. Thank you, Sister E. I'm very happy. Really? Xiangyi breathed a sigh of relief. That's good, that's good. Shi Sui took out a few hair clips from his pocket. After all, it was his first time knitting, so the finished product was a little rough. He touched his nose embarrassedly. Do you like them? The man's joints were slender and well-defined, which contrasted with the hair clips. They're so cute. Did you buy them for me? Yes. The next second, Xiangyi's phone vibrated. It was a message from Nan. Nan is also eating candy today, Sister E. Mr. C and I were in the middle of supper when he told me that Shi Yingdi had personally knitted a hair clip for you. Oh, it's too sweet, too sweet. My devil spicy hot and sour noodles have become sweet and spicy. Ah, those hair clips were knitted for her by Shi Sui? The little deer in her heart seemed to be able to talk and kept pounding non-stop. Xiangyi blinked. Boyfriend, did you knit these for me? Shi Sui noticed her action of replying to the message and joked. It seems that I've been betrayed by my teammate. As long as Si Chuanbai knew something, Nan would definitely know. Xiangyi corrected him softly. Of course not. Xiangyi was very embarrassed, but she also wanted to express her feelings to Shi Sui. She pulled the small blanket to cover most of her face and said in a low voice, I really like the hairpin you knitted for me. I also really like you. I can't take it anymore. The little girl's face quickly turned as red as a tomato, and she covered her entire face. Shi Sui's eyes were deep and serene as she stared at the soft light through the curtain of rain. There were countless thoughts of not wanting to be a human in his heart. But he killed them all. I'll continue knitting. I hope Sister E can like me a little more. The man's tone was as gentle as jade, and it sounded very affectionate in the middle of the night. Xiangyi was so shy that her toes curled up. She quietly opened a gap and happened to make eye contact with Shi Sui, who was smiling. Her ancestral arrogance was activated. The little girl's heart softened and she said stubbornly, "I'm not looking at you, I just want to see the hairpin. I don't know how it'll look like after I put it on." Shui raised his eyebrows. "Then let me help you try it on?" Xiangyi was stunned. "Huh?" The man looked down and slowly put the little rabbit, strawberry, and snow-white hairpins on his head one by one. He looked up and his thick and long eyelashes fluttered, making him look like a charming demon. Even the surrounding scenery instantly became lively. Are you satisfied? May. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.